Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Finding Freedom. In this one, we're going to go over the art of communication part 2. So we're going to go ahead and get deeper into this. You remember last time when I was like, yeah, and I raised my voice, so on and so forth. That's called pitch, right? And that's the volume in which your voice or the noise coming out of your mouth comes out. And then, of course, when I lowered my voice like this and my persona changed, that's the tone, so on and so forth. So you ever heard the expression, it's not about what you said, but how you said it? Pretty much goes into that. And by the time I'm done with you guys, you're going to be a bunch of little parcel tongue talking little Slytherins / Gryffindor people, etc. Sorry, that was a bad Harry Potter joke. But if you get the reference, Harry Potter was able to speak parcel tongue, which was a Slytherin trait, so on and so forth. Yes, I'm a super nerd, but this one's for you. So when it comes to the manipulation of your vocals and the tone, you also have to come with the understanding that certain words mean something to certain people in their own mind. So if you are not able to understand or read the room, as they say, you ever see that one person that comes in and their pitch is too high and they're like, hey, everybody, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. My name's John, this, that, and the third. Blah. And it's so loud and kind of obnoxious, so on and so forth. Or then you have the timid person that comes in, hey everybody, hi, how's it going? And you're like, oh man, I gotta talk to this person, or I might want to stay away from this person. They don't seem like the type of person I want to hang out with. All those things are ways to not only just read the room in a form of nonverbal communication, but in actual verbal communication, because it could tell you a lot about the individual, such as where are they at mentally? What's their personality type? If somebody's happy, how do they present themselves? If they're sad, how do they present themselves? If they're extremely excited because they had too much caffeine, how do they express themselves? If they're on something, how do they express themselves? Whether that's a substance or an alcohol, so on and so forth. And these understandings are also things that go into psychological behavioral analysis, right? If somebody wanted to determine if you were bipolar or schizophrenic or something else, they would have to study your behavior. They would have you in a controlled environment while you're sober and so on and so forth. And then if they realize that, well, you're perfectly fine, we could let you out. It was just this that was making you act this way, or that was making you act like this or that. Sorry, a song reference came into mind, but you could get with this or you could get with that, as they would say, right? And you would study the behaviors, but then of course it comes down to the speech pattern and how fast were they talking? Were they talking really fast? Were they talking really slow? Were they talking with a monotone voice, or were they talking with a robotic voice, so on and so forth, etc. So remember, your pitch is how high you go or how low you go. Your tone is your demeanor, the way the sound sounds when it enters the ear canal, which makes people think that you're sad or happy or excited or etc. or nervous. And all these words mean something, because excitement can also be the same feeling as anxiety or freaking out. So you have to have some type of conversation there to decipher the two. So let's get into it, right? So let's say I go to a business networking meeting and I'm reading the room, so on and so forth, etc. And I'm looking around and I see some people I want to introduce myself to. I'm going to carry myself in this speed with this tone, so on and so forth. I'm not going to just walk in, hey, everybody, how's it going? My name's Michael, this, that, and the third, and start talking really fast. They're going to look at me differently, especially because, well, in certain areas, people don't talk like that. And if they don't talk like that in the room, why should you go ahead and match and mirror them? This is another psychological tactic that I'll get into in another video of art of communication, which is nonverbal cues and things like that. And Dr. Eric Milton, or Milton Erickson, so on and so forth, and how he came up with matching and mirroring. But going back to pitch and tone, you can actually understand this better when you listen to music. The pitch, the tone of the voice, so on and so forth, can put you into a certain state or a hypnotic state, depending on the song with the melody. So whether you want to bring someone up or bring someone down, remember, opposites attract. So if you're the person that's shining in the room, remember, if you want to bring someone up, let them shine as well, right? How does the saying go? It is not our light that it's not our darkness that most frightens us, but our light, so on and so forth. And we become vulnerable ourselves. We allow others to become vulnerable themselves and allow them to shine, as we all should, just as children do. And last time I checked, in order to get into the gates of heaven, you have to have the mind of a child. So thinking about all this and so much more, you're going to want to say, that tone and pitch matter. Not only that, having an understanding of the terminology. What do I mean? Pause. Let's get into it. Back again. So, what was I talking about? Pitch and tone and why they matter. Well, you have to remember, yes, the pitch and tone matter, but now you have to understand the words that you're using. If a doctor were to come in and say, we got to perform cardio bypass, so on and so forth, etc., are you guys okay with this? I need you to make this a decision very quickly. They might be a little lost. They might ask, well, what's cardio bypass? Or they may just be lost in the sauce and not understand what you're saying, and they'll say yes, whatever saves their life, so on and so forth. If the doctor came in and said, we got to go ahead and do heart surgery, this is the simple situation here. There is a issue, there's a clogged artery, and we have to go ahead and open it up, so on and so forth. Now we can either install a valve, or we can go ahead and push fluid through and scrape the insides of the artery to get the plaque out. That simple breakdown and explanation helps them create a more educated decision. But most people in the medical field these days, at least in North Carolina, do not follow that procedure. They think everybody is guilty till proven innocent, so therefore they don't ask the patient questions. They drug them first, then they ask them questions after they're drugged, with hopes that they're going to get some type of straight answer from them, which they don't. And then, of course, they go down this whole path of getting involuntary committed because of the fact that, well, the patient didn't seem in their right mind. Well, no, duh, you just drugged the patient. And the reason why I'm able to speak on this from experience, but from seeing it in other people and seeing it happen to other people, is because I frequent the hospital and I actually used to see these people go in and out. And the funny thing is that the ones they would keep were the ones that had the most health coverage. If you didn't have health insurance, they'll get rid of you between 24 hours and 72 hours, so on and so forth. If you had one health coverage, they'll probably keep you for about a week. And if you were duly covered, they'll try to keep you as long as possible because they need to make money. So this is where you also have to understand the pitch and tone of a doctor, the pitch and tone of an attorney, because remember, in the UK, it says you want to dress smart. Well, you also want to talk smart as well. And the way you appear smart to other people is not only by matching and mirroring their pitch and tone, but the terminology in which they use when they communicate on a frequent to their individuals or their peers that are like them, not the way they communicate to other individuals who are not like them, that they are trying to communicate with or match and mirror or use their language to be on their level. Now, once you understand this, things become less incomprehensible and more palatable to understand. Now, those two words for some people may not register. However, for some, those two words did register. So when you're using your words and your terminology, remember pitch and tone also matter as well with the words. When you combine this all together, it's what I like to call parcel tongue. So if you had anything or any questions on this material, remember there's more videos coming out. Please like and subscribe so that we can go ahead and have other people like you watch videos like this, as well as for the fact that you'll stay updated for when the next video comes out. Till next time, my friends, Mike City out.